What's up, nerds? So, watched last night the second episode of True Detective Season 4, Night Country. And I have to just say, I still thought the episode was pretty good. I thought it was intriguing in terms of, I want to see the next episode. And I'm going to like I said, I'm going to do breakdown, review, theories. I still don't have my theories all figured out. I'm like a small piece of me is like, I don't know what the hell's going on in this show, but I do have one theory that I just think is just the overall the thing that is going on. All right. So let's stop yapping, dive into this breakdown, and then I'll share my overall thoughts of this episode at the end. All right, here we go. As authorities check on the corpses, Danvers discovers that the three bodies were stripped naked with burnt ice, and one of them might have scratched his own eyes out. She also notices a spiral symbol on a forehead, but does not understand what it means yet. As they try to remove them, one of the officers accidentally breaks an arm. Suddenly, one of the men screeches, shocking them. So I just want to say I thought this first scene was good when they're excavating the bodies and everything. And a lot of the other cops are trying to like fuck around and everything. And Jodie Foster's like, stop fucking around and everything. Be professional. I was like, yeah, be professional. I was like, you're kidding. Who takes a selfie with a dead body? That's so weird. What are you, Logan Paul? Get out of here with that nonsense. And so I thought that was good. And it was just creepy. I thought that, and when the guy breaks that dude's arm off and he's like, ah, shit, and everything. And then when the dude starts screaming, I was just freaking out. I was just like, man, I was like, that's crazy. Also, Peter's dad, I can't remember his name. Was it Hank? When he was all like, they're just trying to, the other cops, they're just trying to let off some steam. And I'm all like, no, you don't get to let off steam with dead bodies. Like, what? What is going on here? I mean, like, listen, I've never been to Alaska, but maybe shit's weird up there, you know? I mean, they've got a whole month where it's nighttime. I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a night owl, but like, it's just, yeah, that's just crazy bones to me. But, hey, whatever, it's cool. While the man is taken to the hospital, Danvers visits a friend, a teacher, Bryce, to ask him about the Tulsa crew. He states that they were reserved and they were trying to sequence the DNA of an extinct microorganism that could stop cellular degeneration and find a cure for many diseases. Okay, so first off, I'll talk about this with my theories thing, but I just want to say I do think that what's going on in this is biological and something going on, again, like I said before, with the water, and I'll talk about that again later on. But I just want to say, she goes to visit this Bryce guy, right? And he said, I said not at school. So it makes me think that her and Bryce, they be fucking. And I'm just like, man, Jodie, you're a big whore, okay? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm like, you're in this town, you're not married. I get it. You need some play every now and then. But Jesus, can't you just get one dude that you're smashing like on the weekends and everything? I'm like, man, you are just straight up like, but if she's not fucking him, like, fine. But I mean, like, that's what I got the sense and everything. So, like, he talked about the microorganisms and everything, which I thought was a decent idea, those scientists, what they were doing, because I was like, oh, that's interesting. I would like to see that. But at the same time, I think that maybe they've unlocked, and it's said later on, I'll mention it now, that with the spiral, that it's older than the ice. And maybe that there's something there that is locked away that then it should probably stay there. You know what I'm saying? For the non-detriment of humanity. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'll talk about that with my theories. Danvers prevents Captain Ted Conley from passing the case to Anchorage. Much to his chagrin, Navarro visits Rose to question her about seeing Travis Cole, father of Rust Cole. She, in return, opens up about the ghosts that Julia has been seeing, which included their dead mother. Before Navarro leaves, Rose questions her about the spiral, something that Navarro has seen before, and Rose claims that the spiral is not only older than Innes, but it might be older than its ice. Okay, so first thing, I like when that Conley guy comes and he's all like, "You're sending it to Anchorage," and she's like, "Nope." She's like, "You put me here, buddy, and you wanted me to do this, so I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. I'm gonna do this case." And he's all like, "You don't have the stuff to do this case. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "I'm doing it anyways." And he's like, "I'm taking these bodies," and she's all like, "You can't take them until they're thawed out." And he's like, "How long is that going to take?" And she's like, 48 hours. And he's like, "Do you have a place for them to thaw out?" And I was like, oh, he got you there and everything. So there's that. And then Navarro going to visit Rose. I have to be honest, I don't care about Rose. But we did find out that Russ Cole from season 1, which I'll talk about that again with my review part, but he was the detective from season 1, played by Matthew McConaughey, and I did see some people with their theories talking about that after the first episode, and I have thoughts on that, and I'll get to it after all of this. But then also when she's talking to Rose, and she's all like, "My husband made love, and then he was terminally ill, so he just walked off into the snow and died." And I was like, okay, interesting. But then Rose tells about her sister, how she sees ghosts, and then, or Navarro does, and then Rose is just like, "Don't get the gift mixed up with mental illness." I was like, yeah, your sister be crazy. And first off, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff, so I don't think there's a gift, if you will. I'm not judging you if you believe in that stuff. I'm not judging. You believe in whatever you want. I'm just saying I don't believe in that. And when anybody tries to tell me ghost stories, I'm like, oh, okay, But I do think that that the daughter does have mental illness, and her sister, Navarro's sister, and it was just passed down from her mom, which is not unheard of. And then I did like when, as Navarro was leaving Rose's house, I did like how she was all like, there's this symbol, this spiral symbol, which I don't believe in that nonsense either. But she's like, it's older than Innis. It predates the ice, or whatever she said. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. Okay, Rose, you're crazy too. You see your dead husband. I think you have a mental illness also. But so we'll see how that whole turns out. But in all honesty, I'm only interested in the murder section of this. I'm not interested in all this spirit stuff nonsense, mumbo jumbo. Per Danvers' instructions, the corpsicle is relocated to an ice rink to ease the process of unfreezing. She and Peter debate on the discovery, as their clothes were carefully placed together near their corpses. So I love when she goes to see that woman, and we find out later that she had slept with her husband, and I was like, oh, that's good. That's why she hates her. But I did like that. Also, I really did like when her and Peter were talking, and I liked how she's like, "Ask the question," and he just kept asking questions. He's like, "That's not the right question," and they just kept asking questions. I like that thought process. I like that thought process of, why did this happen? Who is doing this? What's going on here? No, that's not the question you want to ask. I like that because it makes your brain, it makes you think, and makes you constantly think, like, what do we need to figure out here? And I like that process. So I might add that into my lifestyle, just be like, what is the question here? But I mean, I'm not out solving murders, But I did like that. And then I'm curious now to who the murderer is, which I think it's that Clark guy. So we'll see. They question many of the familiars for the scientists, all of them whom describe them as very reserved and uncooperative with people on the outside. In particular, Clark was deemed as a very strange person, with a local seeing him with a spiral mark on his chest as he walked naked through the facility. So again, they talk to these two cleaning ladies. I just want to say, and I'll talk about it later on, if you watch the cleaning lady, I still think the cleaning lady and the redhead, they still have something to do with it. I'll talk about that again when I get to my theories. But then that guy also, the guy that was filling up the vending machines that brought the scientists their food, he was talking about how he's like 30 days of night, you see some ghosts.
You know what I mean? Jesus, Pete, you grew up here. You know this. You see people who are gone sometimes. It's a long fucking night. Even the dead get bored.
I'm like, no, you don't. It's all what you think you saw. Now, he might have actually saw somebody there because it might have been that Clark guy in the facility doing the shenanigans, but I don't think he saw a ghost. So we'll see how that goes down, but who just walks around with their coworkers naked? That's weird. That's crazy bones. Peter tells Danvers that a non-governmental organization funds Tulsa and that the investors point to a shell corporation named NC Global Strategies, which is owned by Tuttle United. She assigns him to retrieve Clark's credit records. So this part, I think, also plays a small part in it with the LLC and everything. But at the same time, I just don't know if we should care enough, you know? I mean, because I didn't care. But a small piece of me wants to think, like, it was such a throwaway line. Because she's like, hey, way to, tell me nothing. And I was like, that's funny. So I also thought it was interesting how she kind of, like, she ordered him around because she's his boss, but at the same time he followed it, and then he didn't go home, and she's like, what'd I say? Don't disappoint me. And I'm like, the one guy was all like, don't worry, you'll ruin him too. He'll end up hating you also, because everybody hates Jodie Foster's character. Peter is scolded by Hank over stealing Annie's file from their house. So Hank, I'm going to say this later on. I said something was going on with the Russian bride. Now I don't think that's going on. I think that's just him getting scammed, which again, I'll say it later, but I'll say it. I was going to say it later, but I'll say it now. I think it's really sad that he's getting scammed out of his money. And I'm like, who falls for this crap? And it's obviously lonely people. Lonely people. Well, I mean, maybe some other people do, but lonely people. They just want companionship, and people take advantage of that. So I feel bad for him in that sense and everything. But I did not like that he went and hid his child. Like I'm not that type of person. I'm not a go and hit my kid kind of thing, even if they were an adult. However, him confronting him about stealing, I mean, he did have every right. And I did think that his, blood is thicker than water kind of thing. I did agree with that. Jodie Foster is not his family. He's his family, and he should maybe try to lean on him a little bit. Maybe tell him that Russian bride is a hoax or is a scam, and he's just getting his money stolen away. But I didn't like that he hit his kid. And so, yeah. Danvers is revealed to have an affair with Conley, despite their animosity. She tells him that after 19 years, their affair must end. Conley says that she must pass the case to Anchorage, and he does not believe she can handle it. And she furiously leaves when he appears to threaten her. So again, back to Jodie Foster's just fucking everybody because, she needs to get hers, which I'm all like, maybe the death of her late husband was a shocker, and now she needs that companionship also. But I'm just like, man, Jodie, just find one boyfriend and just stick with that boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? You're just fucking everybody. I swear to Christ, that's crazy. Although Jodie Foster, not bad. You know what I'm saying? She's still got a banging body, and she's not bad looking in the face. Although she's a lesbian, so it wouldn't be happening anytime soon. And I would have liked it if she showed her titties. Like a lot of these women on these shows don't show their titties. They'll just wear a bra, and like they'll show the man ass, which I'm like, okay, fine. But at the same time, I'm all like, I want to look at something too, I'm like, come on, just pop a big fat nip. She visits Navarro at her house, telling her that Clark got the spiral from an image and asked a company to tattoo it to his chest in 2017. She asked Navarro for her help due to her knowledge of Annie's case. So after she finds out, she calls the tattoo parlor and she sees the tattoos, and then she also sees the picture of Annie with the tattoo on her shoulder. And he got the tattoo on his chest and everything. She goes over to Navarro's house and she's like, our cases are connected. Do you want to help? And Navarro's like, yeah. And Navarro tries to like make peace with her. She's all like, hey, what happened with? And she's like, no. We're not going to do this. We're going to do this case. And then you and I are done. And I really like they tried to talk about it a little bit because Peter asked about it. I believe it was Peter. And I really want to know what happened between the two of them. And I really hope that they show it in the next episode because we've got to hit the ground running like hard because you keep giving us these little like lampposts or breadcrumbs. But I'm all like, if you're not going to show me the meal, I don't want to see the breadcrumbs. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to start implementing those flashbacks, you know what I'm saying? Leah sneaks out of the house and joins Peter to watch over the corpsicle as they talk over their parents. One of the feet of the corpsicles slightly moves, probably from it thawing. Leah, I'm not interested in this character, like, at all. Like, her mom came in and she was getting the little lines. I don't know what those are called. And she's like, no. And she's like, she just wants to learn about her heritage. And she's all like, no. And I like how that woman was, like, talking in her native tongue. And she's like, no, you don't get to do that with me, laundromat grandma. And I was like, don't be mean. I was like, Jodie, again, you get more with sugar than you do with shit. So if you try to be a tiny bit nice to people, maybe just be like, listen, she's my daughter. She's still living under my roof. I don't want this stuff, all right? When she leaves my house, she can learn that stuff. I do think, if it is a part of a culture, maybe you should let her learn that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah. But again, back to the daughter. I don't really care about this character. I don't care what happens with her. She's flirting with disaster with that other girl. She's shooting another porno. I'm like, man, you got to stop doing that. But I did like her going to the ice rink and everything, and and I did like her talking to Peter about their parents and stuff. And we got a little bit of backstory with Jodie Foster. I can't tell if that was a little boy or if that was Leah when she was younger. But Jodie Foster looked happy, so I'm, whatever her character, her character looked happy. So I'm bummed because I'm assuming that the dad died. While visiting Kavik, Navarro reveals the purpose of an RV that belonged to Clark. She finds Clark's abandoned RV and calls Danvers to join her. So Navarro goes over to her boyfriend's, right? And she scares him, which I'm all like, that's breaking and entering. You can't just walk into somebody's house. Second off, he made her pancakes and she didn't even eat them. I'm like, rude. So rude. And then he's all like, you still have my toothbrush. And I'm like, wow, Navarro, you are a terrible girlfriend. I would not, you would get on my nerves real fucking quick. However, I forgot to mention it, but she does some detective work and I did like that. She finds that guy who Clark had bought the RV and then she realizes that's where they would meet, at the RV and everything. So I was like, that's interesting. And I did like the detective work that she did. They find that the RV contains animal bones, gross, Annie's phone, and a shrine devoted to Annie. Weird. So when she found that RV and there was that like mannequin, like that like, I don't know if I'm pretty sure it's not a dead body. It's just a bunch of like a pillow stuffings together or whatever. But I thought there was dead people up in there. It was like a tomb and everything. I was like, oh man, this is getting, the plot thickens. But no, it wasn't a dead body. It just looked like like a mannequin kind of thing up in there. And when Jodie Foster goes to visit and they go inside there, I was just like, curiouser. What is this? The shrine and everything. I'm just like, what is all this nonsense? Are they even going to explain it to us? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But it was creepy, but I was just like, what's happening here? I definitely want to see what's going to happen next. They go to the ice rink when Peter calls them, informing them that the corpsicle is melting and there are only 6 bodies, and Navarro deduces that Clark is still alive. So when they get there, I did see some people thinking like that foot moved and that guy was alive, and I'm like, he's not alive, okay? The other guy screamed out when he was outside and his arm broke off. Nobody in here has been screaming yet, and they've been thawing. So I feel like they would have said something by now. And I wonder if they're ever going to be able to talk to that guy, because that would just be crazy. So not all the bodies are there. Clark is definitely missing, and Navarro's all like, Clark is still alive. And I was like, dun, 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 and everything. So we'll see where that goes. And that was the end of the episode, guys. So to my review. All right, plot-wise, this episode, I found it very intriguing. I was interested in what was going to happen. The whole time I'm all like, where are we going here? What's up with this RV shrine? That girl, like, is this a cult or was it just those two? What's going on? I'm interested to see where it's going. Now, I don't, like I said before, I'll talk about it with my theories. Okay. So the acting wise, Jodie Foster is knocking it out of the park. She's my favorite part of this show, even though her character is quite annoying. I don't like her character, but I do. Jodie Foster, again, maybe this is her comeback and she's going to start doing more stuff, but man, this was very, very good in terms of acting wise. But we can't expect anything less from her because she's great. Her character continues to be a bitch. I would not be friends with her because she's an unlikable person, in my opinion. But at the same time, she's smart. I like that about her because, again, she was constantly like, what's the question? And I liked that she made that Peter kid constantly like, think, use your I can't think of what it's called, but use those skills to figure out what's going on, or at least ask the question so you can look into what's going on, you know? I really like that a lot. I didn't like her manipulation of him, getting him to steal from his dad, getting him to go to the ice rink without going home and giving his son a bath. I was like, that's bad. I mean, like, as a dad, I was like, you need to take a step back and be like, no, Jodie, I'm going home to give my kid a bath. You and somebody at that ice rink, head your ass over there, okay? I'll go over for an hour while you pick up your daughter and take her home and stuff, but that's the end of that. I'm going home to give my son a bath. End of story. So then on to Carrie Reis as Navarro. She's doing a good job acting also, but again, her character also is a bitch. I don't like this character. I find her very annoying. I find her rude. I don't like people like this, and I would not be her friend. I wouldn't be fucking her either. I don't understand why that guy, Kovic, I don't know why he's fucking her, because she's just annoying. She steals from him. She breaks in. She's unreliable as a partner, and I wouldn't have anything to do with her. I'd be like, I'd cut her off. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of bitches up in that town that he could smash, and they wouldn't steal his SpongeBob toothbrush. So, yeah, and not eat his pancakes. He made her pancakes. That was so nice of him. He's a nice dude, and you know, and she did that thing that women do, where he would like, you coming over later, and she'd be like, no, and then she comes over and she wants sex, but it's like, you already jerked off because he was horny and you didn't show up fast enough, hooker. So yeah, okay. I want to do my theories now because I've been talking too much. Theories. I do think it's biological. It's all something they found in the ice that has contaminated the water, because if you remember correctly, that guy attacked that worker, the miner worker guy, in the bar and said that they were ruining their water.
You think my kids don't drink the same water? You mining people are poisoning your own kids!
And then later on, Kovic says that some of the towns or villages near the mine, the water will go black.
Bad water in the village has nothing to do with illegal spirits.
The water thing's getting bad, huh?
Yeah. The whole thing went to shit last week. It turned black in some homes. Poor fuckers are too close to the mine.
And I was like, okay, I think that something's in the water and it's biological. That's what makes people see shit. It's nothing supernatural. I'm telling you, it's not supernatural. But I think it's something biological that, you know, whatever. Because as they talked about those guys, those scientists in the snow, none of that was supernatural. It was all they were what scared them so bad that they ran out into the snow with only one shoe on. And he said maybe it was a polar bear. Maybe it was a polar bear. I don't know. It might have been just, you know, hallucinogenics in the food they were eating, because I want to say all of them were eating. I can't remember. But one guy was eating popcorn and drinking beer. So maybe he put crap in the food or whatnot. I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely don't think it's supernatural. Also, they connected that Rust Cole, from the first season with his mom being Rose and the dad being Travis. I don't like this if they're trying to create a true detective universe. I'm not interested in that. The thing I like about this show is each season is its own thing. And if they're trying to make this a connected universe, get the fuck out of here, because I am not interested in that. Now, if it's just that character is just this is his mom, and they don't try to connect the two seasons, then fine, I'm fine with that. But other than that, it's just so I'm so like annoyed with that if that's the case. It's stupid, so stupid. Again, I said it before. I think the Russian bride thing is not a thing anymore. Just because I just think it's a scam, and I feel bad for the dad because when I was watching, I was like, who falls for this crap? And I was like, you know what? He's just lonely. He's by himself in that house. His kid doesn't come to visit him except to steal from him, and he just wants some companionship. And I totally get that, and I feel bad in that sense. But he hit his kid, and I don't like that at all. So, but yeah. Now, back to I do think that those two ladies and that dude that first episode that hit him, I think something's going on there, because if you remember when the old lady showed the redhead the spiral picture, if you look at her face when she looks at it, she's like no, and then after they walk away from her, her face tells me something is going on there. And I think there's something there. I just don't know how. I just can't put my finger on exactly what it is. But as soon as I figure it out, I'm gonna put it in. I'll do a season review. But I think there's something there and everything. And then finally, Clark. I do think he's alive. I do think that he's the one behind most of this in terms of doing the physical stuff, like killing those scientists. I just don't know how to figure it out if he did or whatnot. But we'll see. I just, he's out there, and I'm just like, he's crazy. He crazy and everything. Okay, you guys, I'm going to end it there because I've already talked too much, but tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like? What do you think about Jodie Foster and Carrie Reis's characters and their acting and everything? What do you feel about the plot? What are your theories going forward? Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know I won't mind. If you're on my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on my next True Detective Night Country breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.